41 years old, one last World Cup, and it all ended in stoppage time. Mikel Merino scores, Spain wins 1-0, and just like that, Cristiano Ronaldo's international story was over. No World Cup trophy, not once, in 23 years. But this man turned Portugal from a nation with literally nothing into champions of Europe. So here's the full journey, packed into one explainer. You know, at 41 years old, Ronaldo stepped onto the pitch for what he confirmed would absolutely be his last World Cup. It was a tense, gritty battle against Spain, totally locked up until the dying moments. And then, boom. In stoppage time, Mikel Merino scores. That single devastating goal abruptly closed the final chapter of his international story.
0. Over an unbelievable 23-year career representing his country, Ronaldo won exactly 0 World Cup trophies. It's the ultimate missing piece, right? But hey, before we get too hung up on that 0, we really need to understand how he basically single-handedly elevated an entire nation's standing on the global stage. So, let's dive right into part 1, the first heartbreak.
The whole journey began back in 2003. Imagine an 18-year-old kid, Ronaldo, coming off the bench to replace the absolute Portugal legend, Luís Figo. Just a year later, at Euro 2004, on home soil, Portugal rode this massive wave of momentum all the way to the final, but they lost to Greece. The defining image of that entire tournament, a 19-year-old Ronaldo absolutely sobbing on the pitch, right in front of his own devastated country.
Which leads us to part 2, the heavy label.
See, for over a decade following that gut-wrenching 2004 loss, Portugal fell short again and again. And critics? Oh, they said it constantly. You've probably heard it. He wins with his club, never with his country. It became this massive looming dark cloud that he just simply had to overcome.
And that brings us to part 3, Euro 2016, the turning point. So, Portugal finally makes it back to the final, but disaster strikes early. Ronaldo goes down injured, in tears, barely even able to walk. But here's the crazy part. Instead of retreating to the locker room for treatment, he comes right back to the sideline. He literally transforms into a coach. He's shouting instructions, waving his arms, driving his team forward. And guys, it works. Portugal wins in extra time, champions of Europe, for the very first time in their entire history. To really grasp the gravity of that night, you just have to listen to his own words. Ronaldo admitted that winning this European championship meant just as much to him as winning a World Cup. That heavy label of never winning for his country, yeah, that was permanently shattered.
Moving on to part 4, an untouchable record breaker.
Now, just look at the sheer volume of history he made next. It's ridiculous. 2019, Nations League title and top scorer. 2021, he breaks the all-time international goals record. 2023, he becomes the most capped player in the history of men's football. And by 2024, he clinches the most international wins ever. These are untouched heights, and he achieved all of this late in his career.
By the time 2026 rolled around, his final numbers stood at 233 caps and 146 goals for Portugal. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That is insane. Literally no one in the history of the sport is even close to touching these milestones.
Which brings us full circle to part 5, one last World Cup.
So we have a 41-year-old Ronaldo playing in what he explicitly stated would be his final World Cup tournament. Portugal reaches the round of 16 against Spain. Then comes stoppage time. Merino scores, a 1-0 defeat. An incredible, absolutely unprecedented 6-tournament World Cup journey just ends in silence. Finally, part 6, a once-in-a-lifetime legacy.
After the match, Ronaldo openly admitted his sadness about the result, but he stressed that he gave absolutely everything to the pitch. He also noted that retirement isn't a decision for right now, but then he dropped the line that completely sums up his entire career. He said, before him, Portugal had won nothing, an empty cabinet. He gave them 3 trophies. His own coach, Roberto Martinez, cemented the massive scale of his legacy by calling him a once-in-a-lifetime example for the game. And honestly, when the people witnessing your insane work ethic day in and day out offer that level of praise, well, it speaks volumes. So I have to ask you, is Ronaldo Portugal's greatest ever, World Cup or not? Or do you think history will unfairly judge him only by the one trophy he never managed to lift? I really want to hear your take on this. Comment your thoughts down below, make sure to drop a like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.